playing the hits from 95 to 95. The Millennium Years with Jamie Dyer.
And we're delighted to have on the show today Melissa from the band Solid HarmonIE. Hello, Melissa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How about yourself?
Good. It's been a busy day, but an interesting one. So
that's great to hear. What can we say? Solid HarmonIE. So you reunited last year after a lengthy gap. How does it feel to be back as part of a group?
It's great. I mean, I've missed the girls, and I think, it's just great to be back together, and we're just having such a laugh. Obviously, we're older. I'd like to say we're more sensible. I'm not quite sure about that one, but it's fun.
Well, yeah, as long as you're having fun. Obviously, this time you've come back as a trio rather than a four-piece. So, how does that work in relation to the material and on stage? Does that change very much?
Well, not really, because when we signed the deal initially, the first record deal in New York, we were a three-piece. We were signed as a three-piece. And then it was the day before we went on tour, I think, with the Backstreet Boys, that we obviously gained the fourth member, Mariama, and it was literally a day before we went on tour. So really, vocally, it doesn't make any difference.
No, because it's back to your roots. I hear you're working on new material. Is that sticking to the older format, or is that going in a different direction?
Oh, it's definitely pop. It's definitely pop. I mean, God, it wouldn't be Solid HarmonIE if it wasn't pop. So no, we're not going to do anything drastic and change and start doing like thrash metal or anything like that. No, we are sticking to the pop formula.
Well, that's good. It's probably a really bad thing to ask, but have you got a favourite of your old tracks?
Oh God, probably Happy Songs. I Want You to Want Me.
Yeah.
And I do still love I Want to Love You. I just think they bring up sort of really nice memories of going recording with the girls, first time to Sweden, working with some great producers. And I always remember, the weekend or whenever it was, a couple of days that we spent recording, and on the way back we were just all listening to the tracks in the taxi, thrilled with them. So that kind of, I don't know, these songs are quite nostalgic in a way, aren't they?
Oh, they are, definitely, for me. I mean, the first time I heard of you as a group, I was a huge fan of the Renford Rejects back in the day, and I believe you did some promo on that. Yeah, I believe you did some promo on that, which I thought, what a great idea, because they're still repeating those shows now.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw that.
No, they're still repeating those shows now, so your video for I Want to Love You is still at the end.
How funny.
Which is brilliant. I don't know any other pop band that have done that, so that's a unique thing.
That was creativity on the the record company side, I think.
Yes, and obviously the nostalgia of it. Obviously, you mentioned Sweden. You were quite still are actually quite popular in Europe. Have you got any plans to tour over Europe at all?
Well, we're going to Holland as a part of a big reunion show end of August. There is talk of Germany, I think Austria, for a couple of weeks after that, but that's not been confirmed as far as I know. However, these things change daily, so I'm not sure.
Well, they definitely do. So when you go and do these tours, are they other acts from the same time frame, or are they much newer? Do they all fit as part of the bill, if that makes sense?
On this one, it's the 90s. We love the 90s or something like that. We've got 5 on. I think there's 2 Unlimited, and there's some other acts on around the same sort of era, really. It would be wrong to have 60s and 70s bands on with the 90s. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and a few months ago, I interviewed Lee Brennan of the band 911.
Oh right, yeah.
And he was saying it's very much a nostalgia thing. Being able to go and tour and people can sort of go back in time almost. Do you kind of agree with that notion?
Oh yeah, absolutely. God, if I play the Venga Boys ever, it just brings back certain memories, old songs and things, and happy times as well.
Yeah, definitely. Have you any plans to come to the UK at all?
I don't think anything's set in stone as yet. Again, we've got an agent in New York who's arranging lots of stuff, so. Again, it changes daily, so I'm not quite sure. Be nice to. I mean, we've had some requests to come over, so.
Yeah, I would imagine that's through social media, Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah. It's amazing now because you can just have conversations with people that have bought your records years ago, and you can just talk to them. Grab a couple of minutes here and there. It's really nice.
Well, yeah, I love going through there, and there's these huge fan bases that you didn't know existed. It's good in that way. Do you think that helps with exposure?
Well, I think it does, and then I think if you've got anything that you want people to know about, or it stops a lot of the hearsay, doesn't it? If you can get it straight from the horse's mouth.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I think it's good like that. I think it's just it's a great tool. I think you're accessible then. And some of the people like Gary Barlow will say, okay, you can ask me anything you want for the next 30 minutes. And I think that's brilliant.
Well, yeah, it's a good way to communicate with the fans. So if we go back to the gigging, what sort of stuff are you playing for that? Is it mainly the hits, or are there a couple of album tracks in there as well?
As far as I know, it's just going to be the ones we released.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope they don't spring anything on us, because obviously we need to rehearse and the girls are still in America, so that poses some challenges anyway. Oh,
definitely. Definitely. I was going to ask if you'd rehearsed anything yet.
We got together when we got together last year. It was quite interesting to do our first a cappella a few drinks down, so it was funny. But nothing changes. It just feels nice to sing with the girls again, nice to just giggle with them and hang out with them, and definitely to sing with them, because it's just how it should be.
Yeah, you definitely, you feel that sort of chemistry come back. It doesn't matter how long you've been apart, sort of thing.
Yeah, and the fact that we haven't done it together for so long, obviously there's been changes to the lineup throughout the years, and it just seems like it was in the good old days. So yeah, it just feels natural. It doesn't feel like we have to try too hard either. Everybody knows what part they play, and it works.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree there. And obviously, after being away for so long, obviously you've all gone on and done your own little individual projects. Did you all come in with a set of ideas?
Oh, what, to reform?
Yeah. Well, no, just with a set of ideas for new material or ideas for touring. Do you know if that makes any sense?
I mean, yeah. Obviously, we know a lot more now. We're a lot older. Back in the days, it was just kind of, we were puppeteered, if you like. We were just told to go who, what, where, when by this huge but fabulous record company. But when we signed the deal, I think Elise was 17.
Yeah.
But now we're sort of bona fide grown-ups. And I think we've just got more of an idea of what's acceptable, what isn't, what we think would work. Whereas before, God, we had these ideas that we were going to be this big R&B band, and for goodness sake, we were a pop band, out and out pop. So I think the grown-ups did a lot of the decision-making for us. No,
I think that's a definite character of that particular era in music. Do you think that... Do you think perhaps they're less manufactured now, or do you think it's sort of, things don't change?
I suppose it depends. I think these days the artist has a lot more choice because they can do a lot more for themselves. They can release records themselves. They can do a lot on YouTube. I think they could probably already come to the table saying, well, actually, here I am. I've got 20,000 followers already. This is what I do. I just think the artists have got a lot more choice these days.
Definitely, like you said, more sort of creative control over what they do and such. When it comes to new material, do you have a release date, or are you just sort of seeing how it goes yet?
The girls laid down vocals last week. I'm going to go in and re-sing my vocals on Monday. Then we send it to the producer. And then we're just going to wait, anticipating, see what he does with it. So,
yeah, I know how that feels. It's good that all that's coming together. Have you had any songs come in from independent producers or anything, or is it mainly just stuff that you're writing down?
No, when we first kind of put it out there that we're getting back together, we were sort of inundated with people sending us stuff. Actually, one of our favourite writer-producers is a guy in Sweden called Douglas Carr, and we were working with him when we started work on the first album. So he was the first port of call, really. So yeah, we have heard some nice stuff out there. Obviously, we can all write ourselves, so it is nice to have sort of creative input in that, because, you know, you feel that songs, if they come from you, you know, you can't get any more original than that.
No, definitely. It's your own thoughts, your own feelings. That,
as long as they're good enough.
Yes.
It's like your own songs are like your own kids. Not that I've got any, but I suppose you kind of love them that much, you wouldn't know if they were ugly or not, you know. No,
I know what you mean. I'm a bit of a songwriter myself. I was going to ask, have you got any dates for the touring yet?
Well, I know that the first show in Holland is August the 30th.
Plenty of time to rehearse then.
Yes, yeah. I think we're going to be making good use of Skype video things. And Becky comes over here in June, so we're going to get together and work out routines and stuff like that. So it should be fun.
Yeah, how are you all with dancing? I know some of these bands come back and they haven't danced for like 10 years.
Yeah, mine's probably longer than that. It's not some. I'm not one of those that will go to a club and start dancing and need to be on the dance floor. I absolutely hate it. And I used to have a real problem working out the routines because Mariama and Becky were really good dancers at the time. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, we're not going to be probably not jumping about as much as we used to. But we'll see. I think it's a challenge. It'll be fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a challenge. Obviously, a lot of the bands from the same era have been doing this big reunion thing here in the UK. Would you guys ever consider doing something like that, or do you think it's better to go the sort of more independent route?
I don't know. I think with things like the big reunion, I think obviously the final edit is down to somebody else.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're not in control of how you're going to come across. I mean, obviously, it's great promotion to be on a major thing like that. I'm not sure. I haven't made my mind up about that one yet.
No, as I say, there are some groups like yourself that have, gone their own way, been very successful, and it sounds like you've all sort of come together and decided what you're doing and when you're doing it, and it's organised.
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult because obviously Becky and Lisa, they both have families of their own. So there's other things to consider now, whereas when we were sort of 2021, it was just a no-brainer. We were around the world and that was it. So I think there are different things to consider now, but it's still fun. And ultimately, when we got together, we just said, this time it is about just enjoying it rather than just being, bogged down by the business side and overtired. We're just going to have a lot of fun and enjoy it.
Exactly, and I'm sure they'll see it when you take to the tour in Holland.
I can't wait. It's just going to be such good fun. I just cannot wait to look around at the girls on stage again. It will just be funny.
Yes, obviously doing the dance routines at the same time.
Well, that'll be hilarious.
Yeah. How long does it take to learn a dance routine like that?
Elisa and I probably take Becky no time at all. Elisa and I were a little bit slower initially. I don't know how much dancing they've done in the meantime. I know that I've done none because it's not my bag at all. But, we'll do what we can do.
Yeah, definitely. And well, with that, I'd like to wish you good luck with with the tour and the new record and everything. And I hope it works out. It sounds like you're having a great time, sort of figuring it all out.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, and it's nice that we've got the opportunity to get back together and sing together, and then just reconnect with some of the people that supported us years ago, because it's having those people that have just constantly messaged over the years that just make you realise that people do still want to hear some stuff, and it's lovely.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to thank you very much for coming on the programme, and
thank you.
Good luck with the tour and everything.
Thank you, and good luck for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.